Good morning.
Welcome to our day.
Welcome to our day.
Stop! When Soph started doing like these little leg things, Dixie came and wormed her face, and by that she literally rolled across her face.
It was beautiful.
Mummy, you're crushing my ball! And then Alba went and led down by her. And was kissing her every time Soph was doing it. And then of course the second I get the camera out,
It stopped.
yeah.
It's hard work though. When you don't do things like this.
Come on, man.
Yes, I can get it that time.
By your side, boob. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Hi.
Hi, Mum.
Thank you.
You can do this, Mum.
I can do this. Should I try again?
I'll help you.
Thank you.
Have a bully, Mummy.
Thank you.
Oh, we're cute.
Very cute.
Good evening.
Hi.
We are currently meal planning. Fancy that. I was like, I heard the camera. Where's it to? Are you going to balance? Pen's going to roll. It's got like a little magnet to go in the fridge, although we probably wouldn't put it on the fridge. And it's got week by week meal plans. Ta-da! It's on Poundland. What's F&F? Oh, fasting days. So this past week, we said last week that we were going to be doing fasting. But having gone up to my mum's, that kind of really went out the window. Because we couldn't take like all the food with us, and meal times were screwed up. We were waking up at different times, and it just failed. So hopefully tomorrow when we start it. Oh, Dixie, no thank you, baby girl. Hopefully we can get on track and get some of this flub off. Gizmo's... What?
I was just going to say I did some exercises earlier, but then you saw that.
Only a little bit. It was quite entertaining. Girls being cute. Every time one of us sits on the floor, the girls seem to think it's either cuddle time, throw ball time or burger or something, or fuss time. We're not allowed to sit on the floor and do nothing, which is quite entertaining. Gizmo's been out today, and he's been chucking himself on the side and rolling in his boxes and just really loving life, which is super, 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 super cute. This evening, I have been engraving, sanding, drilling holes in my clothes. And all the times that I've been doing these key rings for the Walking on Rainbows Facebook page, which I'll put a link in the description, I have not managed to drill through the wood, the board, and then my clothes. Today I did. I nearly had a hole in my boob. It was not good.
Bearing in mind you saw how close to the hem of the shirt that hole was.
My t-shirt rides up and I end up pulling it up because I just get so hot. Like now I feel like I've got a really high temperature because I'm doing that whole clammy freezing on the outside, but I am burning on the inside, so I know I've got a temperature. And that's when I just end up stripping up, stripping off, but I don't end up taking off. It's literally just up. It's a stripping up. I've confused Soph.
No, you haven't. I just think it's weird.
Yes. But yes, 4 key rings. Ready to go out as soon as the money comes over, but I'll put a picture in at the end of what they look like. There, the little footprint butterfly. She is cheesing me off right now. Dixie?
Well done for stopping.
Normally she does one more.
Good girl.
They've actually been really good today. They just bark a couple of times and then they've stopped. Dixie did end up having the collar put on her last night. She was not happy.
Yeah, because she barked and then it she barked three lots of times, and so it did a long squeak and then it vibrated on her and she doesn't like it anymore.
She was like this when the squeak went on, but the second the vibrate went on, she was just like.
She ran away, didn't she? And she was hiding at the end of the bed
Alba was on the bed and her head was doing this and going. Each time it squeaked and vibrated as well, so that was quite hilarious because it wasn't even on her. But yes, I'll put a picture at the end of these bad boys. I've also come up with another design. For with it nearing the end of school time. Is that gonna focus? And then obviously it's got a tassel, and I haven't done it yet, but it will be. Oh, we're still blurry. Adding the child's name onto it as well, so it's a bit of a personal touch, because I didn't do it when I was in school. Gave cards and presents to my teachers. Did you do it?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, I didn't. I know for sure I didn't do it in senior school. The only one gift that I gave somebody in senior school was my history teacher. And we were both huge fans of Holby City at the time. And there was this one actor that was just amazing. And I was writing to him and he was corresponding back. And we had a good few letters going back and forth. And this particular teacher, she helped me a lot with loads of stuff. Not just educational stuff, but home life as well, because I had a house fire when I was in senior school. And I wrote to him asking if he could write her a letter on the back of one of the little autograph card things they do. And they did. And that I think that's the only present I ever gave a teacher. I don't recollect doing it in primary school.
I don't think I did.
I mean, I gave Christmas cards, but...
Yeah, I gave Christmas cards.
Yeah, not... Thanks for being my teacher for a year.
Because I always used to have to get the bus to get to school. Every year I would give the bus driver, Graham, a Christmas card, every year without fail. And people on the bus used to bully me something rotten. They were just really horrible. And one year they were bullying me so bad, every time I would talk to the bus driver, they were just being so horrible, that I didn't give him a Christmas card that year. I just refused to. And then just after Christmas we found out that he died.
That's not good.
It's horrible. I've never forgotten it, obviously, as you can see. So that's a lesson to you. Don't let people bully you.
Or, yeah, just stand your ground. If it's something you like doing,
Exactly.
do it. I mean, I got bullied like shit as well.
Yours was physical as well, though, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Mine wasn't so much physical as it was emotional.
Yeah, I had it both. I got, knocked out God knows how many times, beat up God knows how many times, stabbed with pencils, stabbed with knives. Literally, I've lost count of everything that they did. But I still carried on with what I wanted to do. I still joined, most of the sports teams, despite all the bullies being on the sports teams. But after a few years, you leave school and everything changes anyway. Which, ironically, both of us have had people that used to bully us friend us on Facebook.
Yeah. And
why?
And comment really nice things on pictures and videos and stuff.
It's just confusing. Yeah, why was you such a bitch to me? Was it what did you get out of it? Because now it just seems like you want to be my friend. Well, I'm sorry, but the time has passed. Sometimes I accepted them as friends because I wanted to be nosy of where their lives actually led them after being little shits. But they didn't stay friends for long. I also, over the weekend, which I forgot to show y'all, I drew a birthday card for somebody. Which we really like. Obviously, I'm a huge lover of Lion King, and so is this person. They don't watch the vlogs, which is why I've shared it, because it's fine. But I think that's kind of all we've done today. We slept again. Yeah. For a good portion of the day. I think it's still kind of catching up, but then we did stay awake a bit longer last night.
A bit long. We stayed awake till 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, it's 4:45 and we settled to go down to sleep.
Right.
Sophie was just like, "Isn't it nearly 4 o'clock?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" And she said, "It's starting to become daylight outside." Oops. Never mind. We knew we didn't have much to do today. Anyway, I got a really itchy elbow. So it doesn't matter that we went to bed later. Tomorrow we have to go shopping in the morning, so we know that we kind of have to be up a bit earlier, just go to sleep a bit earlier so that we don't sleep in. Because otherwise it's just trying to do shopping after school. And that's actually worse than being there with Granny's day out, believe it or not. Because that is not
Sometimes
nice.
It is debatable though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's either all the elderly people or all the screaming kids. It's way up. No. The only time there is nobody is, like we've said before, is past midnight.
However...
And then you get all the staff.
Yeah, however, last night I went to Tesco's and I went to go down the crisp aisle.
Yeah.
Turned around the corner, there were more than 15 members of staff putting away crisps down that one aisle, and yet throughout the whole entire rest of the shop, which I went around everything, I saw 2 members of staff.
Which you guys have known, we've complained because of the amount of staff, cages, and how inaccessible it is, and they apologised and they said that they'd speak to the night staff and get it sorted out. They clearly haven't changed.
No.
So if they do it again, we're going to be recording and taking pictures, and we're actually just going to send it straight to head office.
Yeah, to the extent that one of the members of staff, who I actually think is more in charge than the rest of them there, he was sort of looking at me because I was in the way of what he was wanting to get to, and I was just sorry, but I actually need to get all the way down that aisle because I needed something that was right in the middle of it. And he just sort of went, and then someone else moved this giant massive crate full of shit that they'd led down in the middle of the aisle. Somebody else had to move it because he didn't move it and didn't even consider, actually, you might need help here because it's completely crowded with people and boxes. But yeah,
I've said to Soph a bit before, when I've got them, staff just lean over me to take boxes over the top, off of the top shelf, or if they're putting stuff back on the shelves, they lean over me to just put it in there, just oh, sorry, love. And one time they did it whilst Soph was with me, and she was like, is that literally what they do? And I'm like, yep, every time without fail. And they just don't give a shit.
If I remember, the next time I go in late at night, I'll record and see if anything happens, because it's pretty much every single time. and then you'll see like what they leave it like.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not as busy, but people still need to be able to get down there.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
So, yeah.
And it's not even like we can go to another store because Tesco's is the only major store we have. We've got like Lidl and things like that, but Lidl is really expensive.
Yeah, it does work out more expensive for us.
Yeah, and we only have the one Tesco's superstore, so we have no choice but to go there, unfortunately. But Mum messaged me just after lunchtime. I saw the message when I woke for a wee during my nap. And my stepdad's been extubated, so the breathing tube that goes down his mouth into his lung has been removed. They put him onto an oxygen mask. Within a few hours, they were able to put him on nasal cannula, which is like this stuff. Whilst he was having sips whilst Mum was there and was being able to talk. And then whilst Mum went home for some dinner, the physio's got him sat up in the chair like next to the bed. So at the moment, it seems like his neck muscles have kind of recovered from the crisis. I mean, it's still early days at the moment. 24 hours it could revert again. We just don't know. But obviously at the moment, things are looking on the upside of things, which makes us happy. But other than that, there's not really much else we have to update on for y'all.
I don't know why she's talking like this.
I don't know. It's just something that kind of came out.
Twice.
Yeah. We took the girls out. They absolutely loved it. Oh, what did they do? They were fighting over the frisbee coming back. I think Dixie dropped it, Alba picked it up, but then let it go, and it was literally on its side, and it was just rolling down the hill. Dixie just caught it before it just went over the hill.
She almost lost her balance.
Yeah, it was quite skillful. I was pretty impressed. So, that's kind of been our day. I really shouldn't drink fizzy whilst we're vlogging.
No.
But my mouth was getting dry. Oops. I don't know what else we got coming up over the next few days.
Nothing until Wednesday.
Which is Soph's mum's tattoo.
She doesn't know about it.
We've booked it, said about like what we want put on there. I don't know why I whispered that, but if you didn't hear us, we said Soph's mum's tattoo for her birthday. But yeah, we spoke to the tattoo artist and he's been drawing stuff up. We don't know the full design yet. We just know it's going to have forget-me-nots in it.
And speedwells as well.
Yeah, and it's going to be on her wrist.
Mm-hmm. Like a bracelet.
Yeah.
Like this, but it's going to be a more realistic sort of style.
Yeah, he loves doing realism and he's really good at it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be interesting. I mean, I think we still need to do a backup. Like, you said you wanted your licorice for your granddad. So I guess you could just find a design and obviously if your mum chickens out, you can have that done. Because otherwise you've got to pay to have nothing done. And it'd be a waste of money. So we might have to look into a design for that.
Hopefully she won't chicken out because she's been saying for ages, like literally over a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's been saying that she wants it done, but it's the booking it. I think she's too scared to book it.
She chickens out with it.
Yeah, exactly. She said that if it was already booked, and like if somebody said, she actually said to me once in the car, didn't she, that if it was booked and it was ready to go, that she would be fine. So we shall see.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Should be interesting, that's for sure. But other than that, it's kind of just... I do want to crack on with the moving of the room around this weekend, because obviously when Soph goes to get the tattoo of her mum, Soph's dad's going to be going as well, and I said that I'll stay here and look after all 4 girls, because obviously it's pretty hot still. It's going to be a long time, because then they'll have tea here as well. Our girls will love it, but to get all 4 of us down in the tattoo studio, it's just not going to work. So I said that Soph's dad can use my wheelchair, my beast, and then he can at least go and see Soph's mum having the tattoo done, but be in comfort at the same time. And Soph will just record little bits so that I can see when I get home. But yeah, so I want to crack on with this living room and make it suitable for 4 people and 4 dogs, because currently you ain't even going to get an extra person in here. Oops. But our excuse is that we was away all weekend. Maybe. Maybe that's the excuse. Soph's just like, no. Not at all. So, I don't even know what time it is. I think it's nearing on 9, 10.
9 o'clock.
Oh. So we're going to go finish watching RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked, because we finished Queer Eye at the weekend, so now we're on this. But I think we'll end it there for today. So thanks for coming on our day with us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.